guys, welcome to the first part of my Christmas reviews. That's right, each week except for the 25th is going to be me reviewing a Christmas movie of my choice. So, before we begin, why don't you go find a seat around the fireplace, get a cup of hot chocolate and a gingerbread cookie for a snack, and let's review Elf. Elf is directed by Jon Favreau and stars Will Ferrell, James Caan, Mary Steenburgen, Zooey Deschanel, Ed Asner, and Bob Newhart. In this movie, on Christmas Eve, a baby crawls into Santa's sack and goes all the way to the North Pole and gets raised by Papa Elf. Many years later, Buddy the Elf has grown to be the biggest elf in the North Pole. And he also his papa told him that his father, who now lives in New York, so Buddy goes on a journey to go from New York to try to spread Christmas cheer in his life. When it comes to me, this movie has always been special when it comes to Christmas comedies, and I've always had a thing for Will Ferrell's take on childlike innocence. When it comes to Will Ferrell, he can really play that kind of guy who sometimes can be a jerk but is lovable in the inside. And this movie is no example, but I'll mainly talk about that when it comes to acting, which is right now. Like I just mentioned, when it comes to acting, I'll mainly talk about Will Ferrell, and since in this movie he is the main character, I'll just talk about him. And in this movie, he's just funny. I mean, his take on childlike innocence, like I just mentioned, is just hilarious. And also, when it comes to Will Ferrell, he also just makes me laugh. And sometimes when I'm feeling great, or I'm feeling bad. And also, the other supporting cast like James Caan, Zooey Deschanel, Mary Steenburgen, they all do pretty fine jobs. When it comes to me, the funniest part about this movie is the interaction between our characters and Buddy. It's just funny to see these interactions between the characters. It's kind of like one scene you see Buddy and Michael arguing, and the next scene you see them winning a snowball fight against a bunch of people, and then the next scene they're basically like bonding like brothers. It's just so funny to listen and watch to. And then also, one funny scene just kills me. It is when Walter's breaking Buddy out of jail. This scene just plays out and it makes funny, and he's like, "Where'd you get that picture from, Buddy?" And then Buddy's like, "From Papa Elf." It's just so funny. It makes interactions make him really interesting, and then you get something very entertaining, like I just mentioned. The Christmas spirit in this movie is pretty high, a little bit. What happens is, one scene in the movie, or basically when they're learning the 3 rules of being the elf, or the code of being an elf, I remember the line saying, "The best way to spread Christmas cheer is singing loud for all to hear." And then basically, later in the movie, Will Ferrell's character tells Zooey Deschanel's character about that, and then near the end of the movie, Zooey Deschanel's character and everyone in New York sings "Santa Claus is Coming to Town." So basically, yeah, that's actually a very good way of spreading the Christmas spirit in New York City. When it comes to flaws, there's only like one minor one, and that has to do with Mary Steenburgen's character. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't hate the character in this movie, but I'm just saying that she kind of got typecasted 5 years later in another Will Ferrell comedy, Step Brothers. But still, pretty good movie though. But still, at the end of the day, Elf is still a really funny movie, and it still is a fun movie to watch on the holidays. I'm Jeff Buckland. Thanks for watching my review for Elf, and don't mind me, I'm going to go on a long journey to the North Pole. Let's go. 5 days later. Damn, the North Pole is so cold. Yes, I know it's snow and everything, but I can literally freeze to death out here. Like, oh my god. Does anyone have any way where the actual pole of the North Pole is? After this moment, Jeff couldn't keep going on his journey to the North Pole.